Hey guys, Buffalo Game back today, bringing you a video for our favorite weapon series for our Warzone weapons, and today we're covering finally a video probably about 2.5, 3 months in the making. We are covering the new AK-47 converted to the AK-74M, or the AK-74N technically is what it would be designated. This is utilizing the Resonant blueprint for the handguard and the barrel that we got during the very beginning of Season 6 for the Halloween event. So finally I've been trying to get a good build with this with an AK-74 utilizing the 5.45 magazine. Unfortunately it's only restricted to 30 rounds, but using it on and off for the past few months, trying to find a good build, and I finally found the right build for this thing. It actually, the 5.5 rounds with this particular barrel and setup, it does a lot of damage at close to medium range. Long range, not accurate enough, but close to medium range, it fills a really good role for the assault rifle. And honestly, I beat out a couple Mac 10s with this thing during a good second place victory and then a good win today. So let's go ahead and jump into the weapon itself, and I'll take you through the setup for this weapon. So if I back out, you can see the final design here for our AK-74N. And the N designation, we'll go over specifically what that means when we build this versus the M series of the AK-74s. But here's our final design for this. Again, it looks really sleek from the right-hand side of the weapon here. It looks a lot like a very modernized type of AK-74 utilizing a CMVD type handguard. So we'll go ahead and back out, strip this thing down to base. Now for the blueprint here, really you can utilize any of the AK-47 blueprints that give you that black pistol grip. I think the steel curtain would do it. Gives you a nice clean look, as well as the Warsaw are really the two ones that I mainly use here. You could also use a Timhoda is a really good one as well you could utilize for a base blueprint, but for this one I'm pretty sure I'm just utilizing the steel curtain at base or the Warsaw. One of those two are my go-tos for any AK build I use for Modern Warfare. So first off, for the muzzle, we're going to want the PPS-4 or the monolithic suppressor. This is going to give us a sound suppression, damage at range increase, which the AK always needs, especially with the magazines that we're going to run for the 5.45 by 39mm conversion versus the 7.62 by 39. So you'll see where that comes into play here. But sound suppression, damage at range, we're also going to stay off the minimap, which is obviously very important in Warzone. Cons are ADS speed, which we're going to make up for, as well as aim walking steadiness, which again, not too worried about that. We can mitigate that elsewhere. So we'll go ahead and select the monolithic suppressor. Next up for the barrel, I typically love the Spetsnaz Elite barrel. It gives us a nice Midwest Industries M-Lock. However, performance-wise in Warzone, not very competitive. We're going to need to utilize the 23-inch Romanian RPK barrel here. This is going to give us the damage at range, bullet velocity, and recoil control. So these are all big pros that we need, especially for the ammo we're using. Cons are the ADS speed. We're going to be mitigating that, and the movement speed as well. So we're not too worried about that. Now, the 23-inch Romanian, I hate the way this looks. Never been a big fan of this barrel at all, not even in real life. So luckily, we do have this Resonant blueprint here, which turns it into more of a modern-looking type handguard with a CMVD handguard for the AK-74 series, which is just a third-party handguard that comes for the weapon. Gives it a more modernized look, comes with that built-in grip as well, and again, it just looks cleaner and sleek overall, gets rid of that ugly wood that comes with the RPK barrel. So go ahead and select the Resonant blueprint for the 23-inch Romanian barrel, and that is, by default, all the barrels you have on the AK, the 23-inch Romanian is the best, and that built-in grip is going to help us with that recoil control immensely and make this thing basically have zero vertical recoil. So we'll go with that. Now the laser, we're going to want the TAC laser. This is still, regardless of the ammo conversion we're going to use, it's still a big bulky weapon. Mobility and ergonomics not good, so we're going to want that TAC laser. It's going to help out with the ADS speed, aim and stability, and the aim walking steadiness. So a lot of those things that we picked up for cons with the barrel attachments and the suppressor will be mitigated here. Con is that the laser is going to be visible to enemies, but again, just when you're ADSing. So we'll select that. Now the optic, I went back and forth for this forever, and this was really the main thing that was holding me back with this weapon. I was trying to utilize something like the Cronin Hybrid or the Hammer sight, as it's known, the Integral Hybrid. Things like that just weren't really working. The APX-5 was pretty decent, but not working 100% how I wanted to. So I ended up going with a holographic with a specific reticle. So holographic precision sight picture, cons are the ADS speed, which we're mitigating with the TAC laser, so not worried about that. We'll select that, and I'll show you the reticle after. Stock, we're going to leave the same. Skip on the perk as well as the grip. We have that nice AK-12 pistol grip with this blueprint. Final attachment here is going to be the ammunition. But notice you get the 2-for-1. The underbarrel is inaccessible because you have the built-in foregrip with the barrel that we selected, which is good. So ammunition, again, we're going to go we're going to convert from 7.62 by 39 to the 5.45 by 39 millimeter, which is standard with the AK-74 series, AK-105, and the AK-12 series of rifles, and even some of the 200 series as well. So 5.5 by 39 millimeter. Pros are going to be the fire rate increase and the recoil control increase. We're going to have much less recoil with these rounds because they're smaller. Cons are the damage and the range. However, we're making up for that pretty good with the barrel selection and with the suppressor selection. So I'm going to go ahead and do the dually devoted blueprint. I like this a lot. It looks more like an AK-12 standard magazine on this, the best I can get it. Go ahead and select that. And then for our camouflage, we'll leave it blank. The reticle, we're going to utilize this one. Helped me out a lot. The ISLET is basically the best one that I found. Everything else just kind of blocks my field of view with this. This one is nice, clean, clear, big, allows me to get shots on target at close to medium range. It works out really, really well. So we'll select that. And then you can see what the camouflage would look like on this, although I'm just going to leave it at blank. But you can see it looks pretty clean on this weapon. Really nice overall if you were to put on any sort of camouflage. It looks nice and clean. However, we'll go standard black. And this is our final design for our AK-74N. And again, N because it has the built-in side rail mount there on the left-hand side to mount the rail optic for our optics that we have, the holographic or any night vision. And it's an N versus an M series because we don't have a folding buttstock. This is a standard polymer buttstock that's fixed. So this one is not a folding buttstock, which we would see with the AK-74M for modern. So this is our AK-74N. Really nice looking build. And I go, you know, two pretty good games with this. I'll show off the win, and you would have already seen some clips of this thing in CQC action. The only downside is that it only has 30 rounds of the magazine, so you just got to be careful and conserve your ammo. Be sure you're tactically reloading between firefights. I'm running an M82 here. Surprise, surprise, my favorite sniper rifle in the game. Double time overkill amped. Lethals, I'm running Semtex and Stun. And then for my MCX build, I have my Ghost here. However, I replaced it with the M249 or the Mark 46. And in this one, I'm pulling out proxy mines and a heartbeat. However, I will get rid of those. But this one just gives me my Ghost as well as fully loaded. I'm running on the Mark 46, so I have full assault rifle ammo. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead now and we will jump into the gameplay. However, first off, just take a look at. I'm using Shadow Company Operator with this. And you can see that right side of the weapon just looks amazing. Big fan of it. It looks such a nice modern AK. Unfortunately, we have the orange wires on the left-hand side, but honestly, I don't mind it. It looks pretty clean. I wish it went away or changed color with the camo, but it doesn't, but that's okay. I think overall, this thing looks pretty solid, especially from the right-hand side here with the Shadow Company Operator. It looks really, really nice. Really good-looking Spetsnaz type AK here. So let's go ahead now, and we'll jump into the gameplay. I'll walk you through this win that we had here, utilizing this, and it was a pretty intense win, and you can see how this thing just excels at close to medium range here in the gameplay. So let's go ahead, and we will jump right into that now. So here we go, fast forward, right after we dropped bunker, and we actually didn't run into any resistance. I was able to loot it fully. Unfortunately here, I had a phone call, so I'm on the phone right now while playing, so I'm on mute, so I can't communicate with Kaz, although I'm very aware of what's happening. However, I can't talk with him, and I'm not fully paying attention. So we loot bunker, and then we have right here, you can see I'm about to get engaged from the silo. So we have two guys just camping here. Now, I should have dropped my cluster right away and given us a little bit of buffer room so we could plate up, reposition, things like that. This guy pushed really close to me. Again, I meant to take out my MAC-10 here that I had picked up, but again, they played that pretty well. If I were paying attention, we would have easily had them, but that's okay. What are you gonna do? So Gulag here. I had the MAS 26. Thing's horrible at base here, but again, I have the car side, so I'm able to just easily get that. And Kaz actually ran into what he suspected was a hacker who had aimbot in the Gulag. So I was able to come out, get loot, get him back. We got our free loadout drop. So we were never ghost throughout this entire game. And at this point, Kaz is engaging a team at Fire. We have a guy in Fire Tower who I just broke there, and Kaz downed a guy in White House to the right across the street here. So I'm just keeping eyes on Tower, and this guy's going to jump, and unfortunately, I missed that shot, and I probably should have switched over easier. But you can see the AK-74, really good sight picture on that. And surprisingly, it's very accurate at those decently long, medium, longish ranges. Not anything, I would say anything outside of like 60, 70 is going to be a stretch, but pretty good within 60 meters. I really like the way it handles. I've had some longer kills with it too. But at this point, We're kind of split up a little bit here on this hill, trying to tactically play this. We have the position we want on this hill, so we're just trying to communicate. And you can see this guy's going to keep peeking me here. They played this best they could, however, they were just at a disadvantage. We have high ground. It's very easy for me to see him peeking at that point. So I down this guy again. And then, again, this guy's going to try and get me through the window. And right here, I'm going to just nail another headshot on him. So I think we downed them a total of 3 to 4 times between the two of us. And now there is a helicopter that's flying around, a manned helicopter, not the supply drop helicopter. So there's a chopper right there you can see. So I'm a little bit distracted, checking him, making sure they're not pushing over here because we really want to maintain this high ground. It's key for this circle here is we want to hold this, especially because we're not ghost. So I get downed, and at that point, I had told Kaz to rotate to the left. That way we're a little split up here because we both had self. So I'm just going to burn my self-revive. Kaz is going to get in fire tower, so he has a completely different angle. They have no idea he's there, so it's really good. They're all focused on me right now at this point. And what's going to happen is the idea is if they're focused on me and they think they're safe from their right-hand side being fire, is they're going to expose themselves. And right there, Kaz can snipe one and then finishes the other guy up with his growl. So fast forward, that chopper team actually landed here at fire. They fought another team, and we were watching this. I downed the guy in tower a couple times, but they came through with the truck. I was just making sure no one's getting up on the hill with us so we can maintain high ground. This truck comes through. Kaz throws down a proxy mine and that he had over there somehow, and ends up downing this guy. And then right here, I think the truck ends up blowing up, and we got one guy pinned down the hill here. So I'm going to fast forward, rotate around. I do a big circle. That way I can maintain high ground and get eyes on this guy who's down low. And again, you can see the ranges here with the AK. This is a bit of a stretch there. That's probably 60 meters, perhaps around 70. It's hard to see where it is on my smaller screen that I'm watching this back, but that's about the extent of the range with the AK. Kaz is able to clean that guy up, which is nice. Fast forward a few seconds here. That ghost is obviously out of the option, out of the question. So here I spot one guy up here, and it looks like he's going for his loadout. And I know for a fact that up there is out of bounds, so he's not going too far. And I'm able to just nail that headshot. I felt a little bad because I thought it looked like he was about to get his loadout. So it was hard to tell. Now here, Kaz, we can hear a guy jumping below us. So there's someone trying to get up the side of the hill here. And here he is, a rose skin, MAC-10, and an AMAX. Surprise, surprise. But I was able to, luckily he focused on Kaz first, and I was able to get a drop on him with the AK-74. And you can see I had to reload before I finished him. Just with one problem with this is that we only have a 30-round magazine. So we're going to replate. Here's a plate box here. Going to drop my plates. That's a good thing to always do. That way, especially we're going to be maintaining this position for a little bit. That way we have extra plates there, which definitely saves my butt later. And here, nice snipe. Kaz spotted that guy, and I was able to nail him. Now, right after that, there was a buyback of fire, so that rose skin got bought back from his buddy, who I've been paranoid this whole time is going to be trying to come back up this side of the hill. And I'm communicating that with Kaz. I'm trying to get an angle on this guy while Kaz has a team in tunnel over there. And again, here, this guy comes back up for his stuff. And it looks like he had weapons, too. So he picked up weapons down there somewhere. I'm a little hesitant to go and clean him up. Just because I'm separated from Kaz. But I'm able to clean him up there. And again, I'm still paranoid. His buddy's got to be down here somewhere that I'm not seeing. And I can still hear him a little bit as Kaz is making callouts. And Kaz is dealing with that team in the tunnel by himself. And I can hear this guy jumping around down there. So I'm staying a little bit too still, which is going to bite me here. You can see I got sniped from tunnel. So that's a team Kaz has been focusing on. So we're in a bad position here. Kaz doesn't have much cover to get to me besides that shed. So he's pinned on that shed, but tunnel has to move to him. So he downs the guy here. And I'm basically yelling at him. I'm like, dude, come get me, because this is where we need to be. He gets downed, but somehow they don't finish him. Maybe the other guys didn't have self-reses and he had to pick his buddy up. So somehow, by the miracle of the Call of Duty gods, Kaz is able to get that self off. Picks me up, and again, you can see here, I'm still paranoid there's this guy behind me. So I'm going to plate up. I'm going to pick up those other plates that I had dropped there, which is key. Those are good to have there, particularly for that reason. I can still hear this dude jumping around behind me. So Kaz is going to watch bunker, or excuse me, tunnel. And here's this guy who I knew was there the whole time. And again, you can see You can see that AK just shredding. This 5.5 rounds, a fast rate of fire, and it really does melt at those ranges. It just crushes people. Kaz downs a guy. This team is pushed out of tunnel, obviously, since it's out of bounds, and they're on the shed here. Kaz downed one, and really, Kaz is thirsty for blood. He's wanted to push, and I've got stunned, so I'm telling him, just wait here. They're going to push. I'll stun them, and then we'll just get them. It's an easy win. So this one guy's jumping around. His buddy, I think, is still alive there. And again, I even though I whiffed that last stun, I think it was effective enough to slow him down that I was able to nail that headshot with the AK. So finally was able to get some decent footage with this today. A lot of fun to use once I finally figured out the right build. Like I said, the 5.45 rounds, the biggest downside with this on the AK-47 for Modern Warfare is that it only has 30 rounds. However, it does mel at close range, and like I said, up to like 60 meters, it's very, very effective and pretty accurate. I was able to win surprisingly a lot of gunfights with this because we have the barrels on there. This combination, I think, is really key. Anything else I've tried, very, very hard, very frustrating. But however, this one here works out really, really well. You get a lot of horizontal bounce with this, which is why the zoomed optics don't work well, but the holographic with the tech laser, just the whole combination seems to make a really nice holistic build. So you can see there, we had 12 kills, Dub. Kaz had a lot more damage than me, obviously. He was nailing a lot of snipes and downing people. But I got all 5 of my last kills there. 5 of my 6 last kills there right at the very end. So let me know down below what you guys think. This is the AK-74N for Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone. Let me know down below what you guys think, what your favorite build is. And until next time, this is Buffer Gaming.